celebrities and Thanksgiving. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, it's kind of similar to what Mary was saying earlier. We always had the celebrities that would dunk on the 4th of July, because it really was, in a lot of ways, proto-virtue signaling before the term had a name. Like, hi, I'm an American celebrity. Allow me to dunk on this country that gave me all of the wealth and fame that I now have, right? They love that. Right. I found a couple of articles that were talking about a bunch of celebrities that don't support or celebrate Thanksgiving, and I just can never get over the fact that, you know, you got to come out then on Thanksgiving Day and make your statement like, oh, by the way, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're evil. Because oddly enough to
especially
them,
this year when the conversation about colonization is so ramped up due to the Palestine discourse.
How could you eat dry turkey and get tryptophan tired when there are people dying in a country you've never been to? So,
do you think that celebrities who move here to work in the Hollywood entertainment industry should consider themselves American enough to celebrate Thanksgiving? Because with the examples of Liam Hemsworth, born in Australia, or Emily Blunt, who's British, you obviously get all of your work in America.
I don't think they're required to.
Does Emily that Blunt's kind of make you obligated to celebrate our holidays?
Emily Blunt's is a little bit different because she's married to John Krasinski, so it's like if he celebrates it, then
their children are American.
Then he should. Then I guess then it's his job to celebrate Boxing Day, given that she's British, right? like they do. But no, I don't think that they should feel any such obligation to do so. What I think is funny is the ones from America who are all too giddy to complain about it. Angelina Jolie being the one that first came to my mind, which was, says Angelina Jolie is reportedly not a big fan of the holiday because she's grossed out by the American holiday because it's something that she shields her 6 kids from. She hates this holiday and wants no part in rewriting history like so many other Americans. Actually, they're the ones who are rewriting history when they try to rewrite what is conquered land as stolen land, because all land is conquered land.
Right. The source said, to celebrate what the white settlers did to the Native Americans, the domination of one culture over another isn't her style. She definitely doesn't want to teach her multicultural family how to celebrate a story of murder. Makes sense, given that her kids are mostly not from this country. But she imported them here.
I mean, it's kind of like the jokes we were talking about earlier with the comedy. It's like you don't have to focus on just the bad part of it.
Most people don't.
Right, exactly.
I refuse to believe that anybody in this chat today goes there and then talks about the settlers. No, they go there to watch football, to eat turkey, to argue with your family about politics, and to enjoy the company of your loved ones. If the language that we live in is now so malleable that a word could mean one thing 20 years ago now means something different today, how is it that a holiday is not allowed to evolve in the same way, where what you celebrate, most people who celebrate Christmas don't celebrate the birth of Christ. They celebrate presents and they celebrate getting together with your loved ones because life is long and depressing and arduous. Why not spend some time with the people you love and and remember that it's not always all so bad, right? Why does everything have to be this grand message that has to be relayed to everyone else that, look at me, I'm on the right side of history, America bad, except for America pay all my bills, and be the reason this very American Hollywood industry that we're all part of be something that's given me so much. I'm not saying you have to say that it's the greatest thing in the world. I'm saying it might be better to just kind of choose something positive to focus on rather than the negative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't Cher pledge to leave this country if Trump became president and then didn't follow through on that? Sounds patriotic to me. She must love this country, but apparently she also hates Thanksgiving. She said, for me and my family, it's a day when everyone is free for dinner and a movie. She continued on with reasonings why celebrating Thanksgiving is evil. Stealing land from a people who believed owning land was like owning sky. We gave them blankets laced with smallpox. She said we shouldn't celebrate the beginning of a great crime.
you are the beneficiary of a great crime, which technically makes you guilty by association. You should turn yourself in.
Follow through on your promise to leave this country. You have enough money to do so. No one is stopping you.
Yes.
There's no wall outside of the country that is keeping you from leaving. Go, please.
It is interesting. It's like, why don't you go to a land that hasn't been conquered? Does that exist?
There you go. That's a good idea.
Does that exist?
I don't think that exists unless you go to an uncontacted tribe in the Amazon and start living with them.
In which haven't they conquered that land? Like,
in a certain sense, yes.
In a sense too. So I would say no.
I guess I just see it as you shouldn't think about it as because everyone's going to argue about the origins of this country, and this all falls back into Marxist ideology, which is to make you hate where you come from, right? You go to other countries, you don't see this same white hot hatred for the place you were born to, right? It's created a generation of damaged people who feel that just by virtue of being born where they were born, they have original sin, which is evil to make kids believe that.
Right.
There's a $20 super chat here from, I have to do the thing again. Looking.
McFiend?
Or Mike Fiend. Hi, Brett, or hi, Mary. Hi, Brett and Sarah. Happy Thanksgiving, and let's go.
Let's go. It's catching on.
Yes, it is. I hope
we
to
just
have.
got a big one, a $50 super chat from J2 Corpse. Said it's party time.
Yes, it is. It will
Thank
go
you.
Soon. I'm hoping that there's Let's Go merch soon. I want a Let's Go mug that just says Let's Go, 3 O's, and then a question mark.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
I love that Rob Kardashian's reason for not liking Thanksgiving is because he's fat and doesn't want to be on camera.
See, that's based.
That's a legit reason.
I'm fine with that. That's fine. And then Sarah Silverman, it's because of the turkeys. It's even worse.
Oh yeah, the vegans are out in full force. I found this tweet today that says, today I start my annual fasting for Thanksgiving in remembrance of the 46 million turkeys killed for this holiday and of the genocide of 130 million plus indigenous Americans killed during colonization. Hashtag war on Thanksgiving. Hashtag go vegan. Thank
you are the beneficiary of that war. You are the beneficiary of all of that bloodshed.
And hasn't it been proven already multiple times that in like harvesting, I don't know, whatever vegans eat, there's still a lot of animals that are killed in the process?
Yes. Lots of animals
seed oils that they love.
That just go to waste.
You got a $20 from Beanbag Actual. Antarctica hasn't been conquered. Let's send them there.
They got a free one?
I don't know why.
That's BS. Thanksgiving gift? Half Thanksgiving gift. Okay, it reset.
That was weird.
Yeah, I just they never actually leave, right? And I just find
and you really wish that they would.
I guess it's because one of those things where it's like I actually have this argument with people a lot as somebody who is very much outspoken against the government of this country and tends to find that most of this government is full of criminals who essentially co-sign bills that kill millions of people in foreign countries. Every president has done that. Yep. No president is free of that. Like, there's a difference between being proud of where you're from and being proud of the government, right? And what you saw when all of this happened was people fighting for what would eventually become a government. You don't have to celebrate that. That's fine. I am very patriotic towards this country, while understanding that loving your fellow man or fellow citizens is not the same as loving the government. Very, very different. Just like you don't have to celebrate the origins of this country, though I think your worldview is a tad naive and ignores just the basic fact of the world.
It's not nearly as bad as people say. We brought civilization to this continent.
War is a human constant in this world, and it always has been.
Like as if it were rainbows and cupcakes before we showed up.
But the point is,
exactly.
Like,
there was
as
so
if
much constant warfare between tribes, constantly.
As if they didn't have like, dehumanizing war crimes before we showed up that they did to each other in warring tribes.
But this is that self-hatred.
Human nature.
Right. I mean, I think about Iran. Like, they hate the government, but they don't hate the history of the Persian Empire. They're actually very proud of it. And they would leave if they could.
Yeah. Also, Shailene Woodley, it says in October 2016, she was arrested for protesting the construction of a multi-billion-dollar oil pipeline that would run through the Standing Rock Indian Reservation in North Dakota. I can applaud actually going out and doing the protesting.
I thought you were actively anti-activism.
I am.
I'm very confused.
Slacktivism is worse. Internet slacktivism is worse than going and actually getting arrested. Today is a day that many call Thanksgiving, and it's a day where kids in elementary school in America were taught false narratives about our Native brothers and sisters, she said, in tears.
I personally loved making feathers out of construction paper and eating venison in school. That was a wholesome time for me.
She says, from time to time, we're little kids. We cut out cardboard paper pictures of pilgrims and feasts and turkeys. Just go hug your family and tell them you love them.
Right.
It's just such a sad world we live in nowadays. But these people post this stuff. And I just remember, this isn't even like current year. This is like the the Facebook days when people would have to virtue signal about Thanksgiving and 4th of July because they hate being from here, because they have self-hatred.
This is really weird. Zoe Deschanel doesn't like Thanksgiving food because it's beige. She said, most of it is beige or gray, which I don't find appetizing. Turkey, which is beige. Stuffing, beige. Mashed potatoes, off-white. Pumpkin pie, orange beige. It's a lot of beige. I just don't really like beige food. I have a problem with the color scheme.
What?
I'm okay with that. That's complete.
She'll have the cranberry sauce.
Okay, it's a personal preference.
Yeah.
I guess she can only have the cranberry sauce.
Well, what about the gravy on the mashed potatoes? I guess that's
also beige.
It's everywhere.
It's seasonal. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's just, I guess it's just every time we get to the holidays. See, in this is every holiday. Then Christmas, it becomes about religion. Then there's the war on Christmas. Remember, that was a thing too. There is a war on Christmas. Every holiday in this country has been used as some sort of Marxist plot to take down the Judeo-Christian roots of this country. Got another
$20 from Not That Jon Stewart, saying, that's the funny thing, Brett. They hate their families.
They do.
Yeah, you're like, go hug your family. The unfortunate truth is these are people who have been indoctrinated by the media to cut off their toxic family members.
Dude, that one I watched recently, this video of this girl who got fired from a job and basically said, like, I showed up, but they fired me because they didn't like my attitude. And then says, I was told to pull myself up by my bootstraps and that would work. My Republican father told me that. I literally almost threw my phone. Like, the idea that you classify your parents by their political beliefs is so anti-family and so anti-human to me.
Yeah.
Again, classifications.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this other tweet that was like, you always see that the people who are working on Thanksgiving are in the queer community, and then you realize why. And the implication is they're evil, Republican, Trump-supporting family members have cut them out of the family and disowned them because they go by they, them pronouns. And that is never true. I mean, sometimes that is true. There are cases where that's true, and it's sad. But most of the time, it's because they have gone and favored a chosen family of allies because the media told them that their family members were toxic for them.
Which is funny because I actually saw an article today that says the quiet part out loud. It says how the show Friends used Thanksgiving episodes to show the benefits of chosen family one season at a time. Hollywood loves the idea of getting you away from your actual bio. And the funny thing is, I'm a sucker for it. I love the idea of people I love the storytelling of people that have been displaced and find friendship and camaraderie and love in others. I don't have any problem with that story. The problem is I know where it comes from. So I know that
it comes from an agenda to divide biological families, blood relatives.
But not just that, but also it allows for, like, if it's going to be biological family, back in the day, that would mean that they all look alike, and the storytelling is very, very one-dimensional in a lot of ways. You can do family conflict, but there's broader types of conflict that can be injected into stories about chosen family, meaning romantic stories.
That just sounds like lazy writing. Because there's a Christmas dinner scene in The Bear, in the second season of The Bear, that is like the most stressful 30 minutes you will ever sit through, and you feel like it's exactly the same thing that you experienced at every like Thanksgiving or Christmas when everyone was doing everything all at once and everyone was talking. It was like that. So I mean, that just sounds like lazy writing to me. If you feel like the story has to be one-dimensional just because they're relatives.
I guess most of the stories that, like, when I would see those stories, it's because they would come from different backgrounds and because they had different skill sets, because that's something to do with the storytelling for the show. And
well, that's what in-laws are for.
Yeah, it never bothered me. But then, but we all know that they go to the same place with those types of stories, right? Your in-laws are a specific type of doofy or stupid. They're not very creative with that. So they're not any better at telling actual family stories. They're worse at that.
Yeah.
Then it's one-dimensional. Then it's your drunk Republican uncle and a wine aunt, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.